Hello and welcome to the weather updates. 9 o'clock, December 22nd, 2020, and another day with some sun and clouds. We kind of went back and forth. We'll look at some of the observations across the area. Uh, 43 at Central Park, you can see overcast skies, and we have to watch for wind for Christmas Eve. So we're getting close to that. 43 overcast. Got a northwest wind at Farmingdale, and you can see throughout most of the day. Let me go to the 3-day history here. We're trying to bring it up. The site wants to be slow. I hate slow websites. Come on. We'll just use this site. That's all. So guys, give us a little more easier information. So let me pull it up on here. So forget about this site here. We're not even gonna bother. All right, so Farmingdale, we had a lot of clouds around. You can see, got up into the mid 40s today. Mid 40s. High was, let's see what the high was. There's even some mist in the morning. Let's see what the high temperature was. 46 at Farmingdale today. So yeah, kind of a mild day, even though we had northwest winds today. But we're all looking out for this big storm that's heading our way. Let's look at the satellite for a moment. You can see all the clouds around. You had some sun, but a lot of clouds. We'll see if we can try to clear it out tomorrow. I don't hold up too much hope because it just seems like we can't get rid of these stubborn clouds. So let's go look at the models here, and we're gonna see we got this weak high that's building in here, and that high is gonna slide off the coast. Starts later tomorrow, and then this advancing low pressure system comes up, and you can see, look at how tight those isobars are there, and that is going to mean a lot of wind from the south. You can see this deep trough. You can actually see it. We draw it out right here for you. Here it is, right there. So it's a deep trough, but ahead of it, we got this LLJ, this tropical air, and behind it, we've got this cold air. That's going to come in behind it, and so where the two meet is where there could be severe weather, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this. In fact, I'm going to want to look at the SPC, which is not something I normally do, but we are going to look at it because that's how crazy things are. So let me look at the SPC severe weather outlook and see if they do have a slight risk of thunderstorms for severe thunderstorms for Thursday. Let's take a look at the convective outlook. I'm not sure if it's going to go out that. Yes, here we go. Here's the day 3. They actually have us close to a slight zone, or actually a thunderstorm zone. But I think we could see chances of severe weather. And we're going to have to keep an eye on this because I'm really concerned about it with such a strong LLJ. And look at how close those isobars are together. That means a lot of wind. And then behind it, we get this cold front coming through, and it'll bring colder weather for the weekend. So let me take a closer look at this because pretty much that's what we're going to be talking about is this event that we're going to be dealing with on Christmas Eve. For tomorrow, we're dry, but then you can see the isobars tighten up as we get to Thursday. Strong southerly flow. Look at how close those isobars are together. That means a lot of wind coming from the south, and that rain will move in later on after 9 o'clock, Christmas Eve, and then the showers and possible thunderstorms. It's very strong gusty winds possible with the cold front accompanying the cold front sometime in the morning. And then the cold front moves east of us by the afternoon. But before we get there, and the winds will still be gusty, but not as bad as ahead of the cold front. Again, you look at how tight those isobars are, you know you're in for a lot of wind. If we look at the GFS here, you will see how bad these winds are going to get. So here we go, Christmas Eve. Look at these winds. I mean, this is right around midnight here, and look at this. These are sustained winds of 40 knots, which is incredible. And the Weather Service has placed us in a high wind watch. There's a high wind watch, I believe, in effect for our area. So chances are we're going to need a high wind warning for Christmas Eve with these winds the way they are going to be. And this is quite impressive. Quite impressive output here on the GFS here. Looking at these wind speeds, again, very strong winds from the south. But they cut off pretty quickly. Luckily, it's not going to last too long. The event itself, the worst of it will probably last all of a couple of hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours. But within those 3 to 4 hours, there could be some damaging winds with these showers and thunderstorms as they move on east of the area. And again, this is a very strong low-level jet LLJ. We can look at the 850 winds, and you'll see the kind of winds we're dealing with here. You can see, look at that strong southerly LLJ right from the tropics. In fact, if we take this out and we look at the eastern U.S. and you follow this, you can see it's coming right from the tropics. So literally draw it out here for you, and you can see this LLJ is coming right from the tropics. So it's bringing all that warm air up from the Caribbean right up into our area right there. So that's, again, very unusual to see, but after all, we are dealing with climate change, so it's not that unusual anymore because of what we're, this is something we've been dealing with now for the past 10 to 20 years, and keeps getting worse with these LLJ events in the middle of the winter when you're not supposed to see them. So this energy moves offshore, but again, this is A50, but this is the kind of winds that are above our heads, so any of the showers and thunderstorms could bring those strong winds down. And I want to also look at some of the other models in regards to the wind and the shower activity with this front. Let's go to the NAM model. NAM 12 kilometer, not the 0Z. I don't have enough of that in. We go to the 18Z NAM. So this is the 18Z NAM. And again, after a fair day tomorrow, we get this this front coming through, and look at that. It really shows the line. NAM's a little slow with this. It actually doesn't move the line through into. NAM's a lot slower with this timing. So the NAM really wants to hold that front back and have us suffer a little longer in the LLJ, and not have the front move through until like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then finally move on east. So the NAM definitely has some slower timing than GFS, which is kind of interesting. GFS seems to bring that through a lot faster. Let's see how the NAM, with the wind, I'm sure it's going to be just as bad. Let's see. Yes. So, and the NAM has the wind going for a little, and NAM has the wind starting a little later on in Christmas morning. And again, those very strong winds there with this LLJ that's going to move through. It's going to be pretty significant and pretty damaging, I think. We're going to see a number of power outages, I think, from this. How many power outages? I would say maybe 50,000, up to 50,000. It's hard to guess, but looking at these winds, and the other thing that we've got to look at here is FGen. That's the other thing that we have to look at here, and you can see again. This is the NAM here, bringing that FGen through. It brings it through much later. The NAM, for whatever reason, is much slower than the GFS. I don't know if I'm even buying that. This is the GFS, and you can see it brings it through much quicker. But this is the GFS here, bringing that through. It brings it through much faster. So you have a difference in the models as far as when this all moves through. We can look at the NAM 3 kilometer as well. This is the higher resolution NAM here, which I don't like usually using too much. Again, you can see some showers in the area, perhaps a little bit of light showers on Thursday, Christmas Eve, but then look at this heavy rain that we're going to be dealing with Christmas. Yeah, it doesn't go as far out, so that's why I can't use that. Figured as much. The HRRR is probably not either going to go far enough out. Either we can look at it and see if it does. So here it comes. It's not going to go far enough out. HRRR also seems to be. Here is the front right here. So this is the kind of LLJ that we're going to be dealing with. Very, very strong LLJ ahead of this. So let's go to the GFS here, and we're going to go back to the GFS, and we're going to look at the kind of temperatures that are going to be surging up ahead of this front too, because it's going to get quite warm ahead of this front here. For tomorrow, however, we'll be seasonal, around 40 degrees. Thursday, temperatures start rising into the 50s, and then the surge of warm air. I see a 62 over New Jersey. I wouldn't be surprised to see temperatures rise into the low 60s on Long Island with this LLJ, and then it moves on through, and then temperatures drop by the late afternoon to the 30s. Not only will it be warm, but you're also going to have humidity too with this front, so it's going to be pretty tropical air. Dew point's going to be rising up to near 60 degrees perhaps with this LLJ. So very, very unusual type of situation there, and then the front comes through and it cools off. The other thing we can look at, we already looked at the total rainfall. I'm not going to look at that again. You're going to get a decent amount of rain, like a half an inch to an inch of rain. We can look at the GFS. I guess we'll go ahead and look at the rainfall again, because sometimes things change. This is the, no, I want the total accumulated precip. So is the kind of rain we're going to be getting again. An inch. All the snow is going to be gone. It's going to be washed away. So we will not have a white Christmas because of this LLJ. And we can also look at the NAM and see how the NAM has. Again, we want the 18Z NAM. Push this out, and look at this. The NAM, because it's slower, it gives some areas closer to 2 inches of rain. So NAM is slower. I will look at one other model. That's the RGEM as well. With this, I think, let's see, I think this will go far enough out. It will go far enough out. So again, here comes that frontal system, and again, look at those tight isobars, and you can see just how that heavy rain. This is like teeming rain here over Long Island here, and this one also wants to slow the front down as well, and have it linger around throughout Christmas morning, which means into the early part of the afternoon, which means more rainfall and more wind damage and a longer duration wind event. Whatever reason is, it's slower. So let's look at the total cumulative precip on the. Yeah, see, the RGEM really just clocks us with like 2 inches of rain there. So, because it has that slower timing. So I'm kind of curious. We're going to go to the upper air. It's just, let me just go to the regions here, and we'll go back to this and look at the upper air again, because, this doesn't do the upper air. This one doesn't do it. All right, we'll look at the NAM upper air. I want to see why it's slower. Alright, so this is the NAM upper air. Alright, you can see it's just slower moving that trough along. It's much slower, and it kind of tries to split it as it gets towards Saturday too a little bit. Whereas the GFS keeps it more in one piece, I think. Yeah, keeps it more in one piece and moves it through faster. I'm curious to see how the European aligns with all this. So this is the European. European also seems to be a little tad slower. So we'll have to keep an eye on this and see what happens. There's also the GFS parallel run too, which we could also look at as well, as far as let's see what features we can get on here. We can get the wind with the parallel GFS too as well. There's a different. Look at this. This is even worse. This is even scarier. This is the parallel GFS, and it really just clocks the east end with sustained winds near 50 knots, which is incredible. Just incredible. So this is going to be quite an event for Christmas Eve. It's 2020. What else do you expect? We'll take a step back and we'll go to the regular GFS and we'll look at the skies and see if we can get any clear skies tomorrow. I doubt it. I really do. I think we're going to have to wait for the storm to clear all this junk out of here. So you can see, look at that. The cirrus is already in on us tomorrow, Wednesday, and then we're dealing with the clouds Thursday, Friday, and then hopefully Saturday we can get rid of them and maybe get some clearer skies. We can look at the NAM. As far as the NAM goes for tomorrow as well, they have 21 hours which is enough for the sky. You can see it just rolls that cirrus in. Maybe in the morning you'll have a clear sky early in the morning, but that cirrus is just going to roll right in on us. Unfortunately, it's like I said, it's just the pattern we're in. We can look at the RGEM too. Similar deal. Like I said, if you get up real early, maybe you'll get a clear sky for a little bit, but somehow I doubt it. We haven't had any nice skies. We're going to have to wait until this system, this strong front, clears all this stuff out of here. We're not done yet. We're going to look at a couple of other sites here. We're going to look at windy.com and the European model and see how that has. We'll just put this on wind gusts. And we'll take a look at Thursday here. We'll go right to it here. Because as we get into Thursday afternoon, this is 6 o'clock Thursday, you can see that we got these wind gusts here that are 40s already. And then as we go into the evening, it's going to get a lot worse. Here's 11 o'clock. Winds gusting to 52 in the city. Let's see. And the NAM, I believe, has that slower timing. It does. So this is 3 a.m. And look at this. We got wind gusts over 60 miles an hour in much of the area. Look at that. Wind gusts at Toms River, 70 miles an hour. This is the kind of LLJ we're going to be dealing with. And look at that. Islip, 75 miles an hour. This is Friday at 7 a.m. A 75 mile an hour wind gust so it's not going to feel like Christmas, and Christmas is not going to be a pleasant day at all, unfortunately. I'm sorry, folks. But for those of us in our area, we're going to be dealing with the storm. We're going to be dealing with power outages. We're going to be dealing with quite a mess to clean up after Christmas once the storm is done. Because, again, some of these wind gusts are pretty scary. 70 miles an hour. That is, you're going to possibly see some hurricane force winds. It does get it out of here by the afternoon, but there's going to be a lot of damage and a lot of power outages. It's going to be a very stormy Christmas day, perhaps one of the stormiest we've ever had. This is just another unusual thing that we get with these LLJs. If you want a nice Christmas, what can I tell you? Go to Flagstaff or something like that. Go out west where they don't have these problems. But here East Coast, we get this tropical nasty stuff that just keeps coming up. Here we're gonna look at another site now. This is the Ventus Sky site, and we're gonna look at this has the Cape, so we're gonna look at that thunderstorm risk. Move this over to 25 and see. This does use the I don't know what it uses. It's using the GFS right now. So this is the thunderstorm risk. Let's see if it's generating any Cape over us. I don't think it is. So, but if we go to the lifted index, it's probably going to be a different story. Yeah, that lifted index definitely has some activity on it. So, I'm going to have to keep an eye on it. And again, these high winds are aloft. Some of them can come down to the surface, showers and thunderstorms. And this could be like I said, this is going to be quite a bad, I think. I really do think so. Again, going back to the windy.com, you could see the kind of wind that we're going to be dealing with is not going to be good. It's going to be a quick hitter, but it's going to cause a lot of damage, I think. And with these very, very strong winds, and it could stir up some waves too. Like I said, the winds don't last long enough to really stir up that many waves. But let's see, it's got 12 footers, so there's going to be flooding on the south shore probably. We'll just put this in sea temperatures so you get an idea of what the ocean temperatures are still. We still got ocean temperatures 53. That's above normal. That is quite above normal. That is significantly above normal. So this is all fueling the LLJ. This is all fueling the energy for this thing. I do want to go to earthknowleschool.net because we will take a look at the ocean temperatures. We're also going to take a look at the sea ice too because we haven't done that in a while. So we're going to look at that too and see what's going on because the ocean temperatures I believe are above normal here along the East Coast. So we're going to look at the ocean temperature anomalies and see what we got going on. Oh, yeah, lots of red off the East Coast. Not surprising. Look at that. Wow. So these are the temperature anomalies. And I got a 4.6 degrees Celsius. Change that to Fahrenheit. That's 8 degrees Fahrenheit above normal off the coast here on Long Island. That's 7 to 8 degrees. That's a significant amount. Go a little further out, it's 6.9. But, I mean, this is way, way above normal. This is not good. This is going to help fuel these storms here. And look at this. Got look at this, a 15 degree temperature anomaly. The water temperature off Nova Scotia, 15 degrees above normal. That's insanity. What's the actual temperature on that? So it's reading 61 degrees. So you can see all the warm water that we've got. That's not that far away. Look at that, 68 degrees. Not that far south, about 100 miles southeast of Montauk, water temperature 63 degrees. So, and 54 as we get a little closer, but this is way warmer than normal, extremely warmer than normal, and this is what's going to cause all this tropical mess for Christmas, and I'm sorry, but this is all part of climate change. So some people, they don't want to hear it, some people don't want to talk about it, but it is all part of that. So let me go to the ice, and then we're going to go to the ice, and then we'll wrap this up, and I'll keep you posted on this horrible storm that we're going to be dealing with here. So let's Arctic Sea ice analysis. Let's go here. Let's see what we got going on here, and we'll get the latest here. Persistently peculiar, it says. So the update as of December 2nd. Entering December, which is the start of winter in the northern hemisphere, sea ice extent remains far below average, dominated by a lack of ice on both the Pacific and Atlantic sides of the Arctic Ocean. As was the case for October, air temperatures averaged for November were well above average over much of the Arctic Ocean, notably over open water areas. Average for the month, total ice extent for November 2020 was the second lowest on satellite records. So here is our chart, and you can see we are at the lowest. So we're at the bottom here still, and the recovery is not good at all. This is all just part of what's going on with the climate here as we're dealing with these, where's the cold air? There is no Arctic air. Where's winter? I mean, it's It's well above what it's supposed to be right now. This is another chart here. Where's 2020 in this? This is the blue line. So you can see, again, we are at the second lowest, and we're probably going to go to the lowest again. So we've been significantly scraping at the bottom this year when it comes to sea ice. And this is all affecting the climate. This is why we're seeing these crazy LLJs and things like that. The East Coast is becoming tropical. And it's not something I want to, not something that I enjoy doing. If you are, however, in Flagstaff, you will have probably a nice Christmas day. Probably we're going to look at the sky chart for Flagstaff. It looks like there will be some clouds rolling in for Flagstaff, so maybe they're going to get a little snow on Christmas for Flagstaff. It looks like. It's kind of hard. I don't usually look at these West Coast ones, but you will see that they won't be dealing with any of these crazy. We'll look at the wind too. I'm sure they're not going to be dealing with any crazy wind storms out there. No, nothing like that. So they won't be dealing with any of that. And if we go and we look at the forecast for Flagstaff, you will see that. Let's see what they've got. So actually, they didn't really have. They're partly sunny on Christmas Day. 39 tomorrow. The high will be 36, but all peaceful weather. No crazy storms. No humidity. No low-level jets. None of that stuff going on over there because they're protected by the mountains, and they're on the West Coast. They don't have to deal with the Atlantic causing all these problems for us. So I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. I'll keep you posted on the storm. It really does suck having a storm on Christmas. I mean, it's Christmas. You shouldn't have to deal with it. But this is the update here from the Weather Service here on the briefing here. Strong to damaging southeast winds, potential 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, scattered trees, power outages, heavy rain. This is going to be like a little tropical storm on Christmas. Welcome to 2020, folks. What can I tell you? That's it for this weather update, and I'll keep you posted on the storm. Take care.